Nigga, you played that boy.
Hey, yeah, frenemies. None of you niggas get close to me.
Yo, what up, guys? So, man, I've seen this dude so much, and then I just had like this light bulb go off because I've been watching like too much, and this dude is like mad, intriguing, and entertaining and stuff like that, and everybody's been talking about him. But I've seen him in several videos. The first time that I ever remember seeing him, let me see, was on this Fresh and Fit podcast right here, and he was talking about his Bugattis and all that stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? He was like his delivery and everything. It seems like he's the fucking top G. But then when I started seeing other things come out, like I thought that he just got like somebody knew about him, like Myron or Fresh, and they were like, "Hey, come through." And this is like the first time he was ever doing a podcast or anything like this because I had never seen him anywhere before. He definitely wasn't all over social media, but after this, I started seeing him everywhere. He ended up back on the interview. Then he ended up on all these other people podcasts and stuff like that. And then I'm like, yo, like, who is this dude? Then he talks about him being a kickboxing champion and he lives in Romania and all this crazy stuff. But then I started seeing footage of him back in the day on like Big Brother and stuff like that. But that's what I'm going to talk about. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. And yes, today we're going to be talking about like who Andrew Tate is. It's not going to be like an in-depth thing. I'm going to do one of those later, but I wanted to put this video out before like something pops off, and I just want to be you know what I mean, let you know what I think before all that happens. All right, so if you look here,
I know something came out in the paper, whatever, but things came out in the paper about everybody, you know?
Oh my god, that's the first one out!
For those who sort of flirt with TV, what happened and what really happened?
so this is him talking about being on Big Brother and he got kicked off. Also, there was something else that he got. I'm not going to really talk about that now, but you should Google it. He got accused of doing something, and he's talking about that, but then he's also talking about like why he got removed off of Big Brother. Now listen to some of the stuff that he says.
I have my own theory on why they kicked me out. I don't think it's any of the reasons they said it was. I know something came out in the paper, whatever, but things came out in the paper about everybody, you know? And the thing that came out in the paper was bullshit anyway, and it was refuted by anyone involved, so that's bullshit. I just think that...
So that always sounds like the way that he was, like most people will tell you this. I watch enough of those people that talk about like when somebody's lying and how they handle stuff. So like if you look at him saying this, watch, he's gonna look off.
Anyone involved, so that's bullshit. I just think that because I was so good at pissing everyone off, you have to remember, you know, and the thing that came out in the paper was bullshit anyway, and it was refuted by anyone involved, so that's bullshit. I just think that
you see, like that's what a lot of people say. Like if somebody is lying, they look off to lie, so they're not looking at. Because even so, he's still looking at like they're on a freaking call together. He's looking at the dude. They're giving each other eye contact. But it seems like right when he was about to lie, he looks away. He could not be lying, but
because I was so good at pissing everyone off, you have to remember I was in the other house, and then I went into the main house, and within a day I got 4 people to leave, who like burst their way out the house, and then they gave me another task, and 3 or 4 of the guys in the house had threatened to punch me and all this shit. And I was causing so much trouble that the producers were saying to me, look, you're causing a lot of trouble, but if a fight kicks off, you have to make sure you don't, you know, basically saying don't defend yourself. Even they were saying, look, you're a calm guy. We can tell you're calculated. We can tell you're smart. You're never going to hit anyone first. But if someone swings at you, we want you to make it very clear you have to wait for security. I said, no. If someone swings at me, they're getting knocked the fuck out.
Yo, homie's like the mad extremist. He's always thinking about like the craziest, like freaking like almost movie scenario deal. Like, what if a dude comes up with a fucking gun and he shoots it at me, and then I have to like dodge the bullet, and then I have to break his kneecaps and do all.
The rules of Big Brother are don't be violent. You should be telling them not to swing, not telling me not to retaliate. I can wait for security. Security can be 2 or 3 minutes away. You know, I'm not going to dodge punches for 2 or 3 minutes like fucking Mayweather for the sake of some moron. He shouldn't be swinging at me in the first place.
But the point is like what I think is like at a certain point, I think he purposely tries to like push somebody to fight him, and they know that, but they don't want to tell him that. So they're just like, yo, if somebody swings at you because we know you're gonna piss somebody off, please don't beat them up.
Place. And when I made that very clear to them, they just made up some bullshit and kicked me out. I think they thought over a 12-week period, this guy being as smart as he is and those people being as stupid as they are, he's just going to wind one up to the point where they're going to attempt something ridiculous. And
do you really think they were in the room like, yo, Andrew Tate is the biggest genius in the world? Like, this dude is gonna solve all the problems of the world. We have to like make him leave this house because he's around these dumb people, and things might just go horribly wrong if he's around these dumb people.
they thought for the safety of all involved, we better get him out of the house, and that's what happened.
Andrew Tate was gonna kill everybody in the house.
Yeah, I mean, you avoided going to Big Brother house.
And the thing that came out of this bullshit anyway, and it was refuted by anyone involved. So,
Go on.
there's talks about there's talks about me going in next year, but let's not talk about that yet. Accommodation, food. But I got an ulcer in my eye about 3 weeks in and had to leave, so I got an eye ulcer, which is.
Alright, so like this is where I saw him on First and Fit. There was something else that, yeah. So like I remember seeing. So the whole point of me like talking about this, right, is like everybody asks him where he gets his money from. But I've heard several interviews where he basically states that like he's giving business advice, and he's basically saying that if you want to get rich, you need to do illegal things and then turn legal. It's easy to do it illegal. You need to turn legal. So then that made me think, like what would he be doing that's illegal to turn his money legal? Then he doesn't talk about going to college or anything like that. He says he's like a broke kickboxer. Kickboxers don't make that much money, especially the federation that he's in. So I'm like, how do you make his money? He doesn't talk about crypto. He doesn't really talk about real estate or anything. But even if he does that now, he doesn't talk about how he got his money to even freaking do that shit. But he does talk about kickboxing and the people that were involved in the kickboxing federation, or where he was, and the people that he ended up linking up with. And he said they were all like mobsters and criminals and shit like that. So then it has me thinking, like, he's good with the ladies. He's on Big Brother, so he kind of has a. People in Europe probably definitely know who he is, especially women. He's a very, handsome fella. So it has me thinking, like, did he hook up with these people? He gets a deal. His job is to do something, and what really made me think that this was true was when he's like talking about why he wants to live in Romania. And the main reason why he says that he likes to live in Romania is because he can pay people off. He's not like a politician or somebody very, very important, but because he has money, he can pay anybody off to do anything and nobody will freaking fuck with him. So it has me thinking, like, what are you doing that you need to pay people off? Like, he talks about it like he does it a lot, or like that's something that's in his life. Like, normal motherfuckers don't say stuff like that. So I'm like, Romania. I remember seeing this documentary, and I remember hearing about something else about Romania. So I Googled this, and I want to go further into this at one point, but I just want to hurry up and do this video when it's on my mind. But it says, sex trafficking is trafficking common in Romania. You see it on the screen. Romania remains the primary source country for X and labor trafficking victims in Europe. The vast majority of identified victims, 72% in 2020, are X trafficking victims. So that meant that 72% of them were all X workers, and the rest were like labor workers. I guess people made to do like labor jobs, which he might have his hands in that too. You know what I mean? These are all speculations. But I'm like, yo, he has all these women. Then he talks about like the way that he words stuff and says stuff. I was like, yo, he sounds like a PIMP to me. You know what I mean? Like, they asked him a question about his girlfriend doing OnlyFans and how he would feel. He was like, I wouldn't care if she did that, but she would have to give me all the money. And I was like, that thought process is definitely a PIMP. And I think that he was 100% like that's what he did. Maybe that's what maybe it was like a pass down of like generation to generation. Maybe that's what his father was. He did say his father was talking to Russians. You know what I mean? That could be like their family shit, you know, or something. You know what I mean? And we just don't know. Maybe that's what the whole like. I don't know, but that's what I feel like it is. And he talked about like the first time he made money was getting women to do webcam. And then I was thinking about, I saw another documentary where most of the women and they're from Romania that were on webcams at a certain time making all this money were ex traffickers, and there were men that made them do these webcam videos, and they took all the money. So they made these girls webcam all freaking day, all night, do all this crazy stuff for all these, you know what I mean, dudes, and then they took all the money. So I'm like, damn, that's a good way for him to make a lot of money. Then he can make that money clean, and then at a certain point, him being on Big Brother, he just wants to be famous. You know, like some of these people that do stuff like this, you might never see them again. But I think his personality, he wants to be in the limelight. And that's why you see him now, and he's able to debate, and he has so much loot and power because he's in Romania. He feels like he can't be touched. But a lot of the things he says, to me, he seems like a PIMP. And there's nothing wrong with that, to me. But it's only if he's not doing it in a messed up, like, I don't know. I don't know what, I'm not going to dwell on that, but that's what I think is happening. Let me know in the comments what you think, and maybe I'll make another video on this, especially if something else arises. But I think something's going to come popping off just because he came out of nowhere, and I've seen him on so many interviews where people were trying to figure out how he got so rich. And that's the one thing that he can't like just say, oh, I bought like a business and I did this. It's very vague, and it's just like kind of suspicious. And I've been in that type of lifestyle around people like that. And when people can't fully just like say, like, I'm a software engineer, I sold software, I sold my business, I did this. This how I made a bunch of money. That to me is sketchy. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment, and stay safe. Deuces.
Wow.